Chapter 3. Josiah. The report ended, and a new reporter discussed the 10-day weather forecast they weren't going to see. It was to be sunny, with a nice high in the low 80s, the perfect Vegas temperature for taking a stroll in the autumn weather and watching the seasons change. Josiah sat on the couch, staring at the temperature spread, and watching the weather reporter's lips move as Ray put his cell phone to his ear. Of course, he had phone calls because he was an all-important businessman, and his voice rose and fell naturally with the conversation. He called his business partner, his secretary, his family, and finally, the person he had a meeting with. Clearly, the meeting was canceled. Typical. When Ray ended his calls, he poked his head back into the living room. "Can I use your computer?" "You brought a computer with you, right?" "I did, yeah. It's in my bag in the bedroom." Josiah pointed. "The password is my birthday." "Cool." Room service knocked, and Josiah wrapped a luxury robe around his body before he opened the door. The young man wore a mask as he wheeled in a cart of food. "Here's the breakfast you ordered. Sorry about the mask thing. It's the new rules." Josiah crossed his arms over his chest. "It's no problem. Thank you." Dark brown eyes scanned over the breakfast tray, and his stomach rumbled. He had his grits, eggs, and bacon, but the steamy rice and grilled fish looked more colorful and appetizing. Nimble fingers pinched off a section of the rice and of the fish, and he presented the bite to his lips, licking his fingers clean before he strolled into the bedroom. "Food is here." Ray glanced up from the edge of the bed. He had Josiah's utilitarian laptop opened over his lap, and a pair of square-rimmed glasses sitting on his nose. "Thanks. I'll be a second." "Okay." Josiah traveled back through the suite, sitting down in the breakfast nook after fixing himself a plate. He had turned the television off and grabbed his cell phone, and was now endlessly scrolling social media sites for the most updated information. Almost everyone he followed had posted about the lockdown already. There were dozens of people going live and talking directly to their followers, while others maintained a verbal silence but had posted comforting information. Josiah had already scheduled posts through the weekend at his personal assistant's suggestion. He had a weekend-style lookbook video releasing Saturday morning and accompanying photos dropping on his other social media sites throughout the day to create hype for the video, but he knew he had to go off script and post something genuine. He just didn't know what. The truth was he was panicking too. He was stuck with an insufferable man, hungover, still hurting from a nasty breakup, and he had things scheduled. He had a trip to Bali scheduled, and brands had agreements with him. They expected their videos and their posts, even if the whole planet was shut down due to a virus. He smoothed his hands down his face as his cell phone buzzed, and he answered and put it to his ear. "Hello? Hey Josiah. I just woke up. Have you heard the news?" "Oh hey Ingrid. The news about the nationwide shutdown?" "Oh yeah. It's crazy." "Oh no dear. Not about the shutdown. It's terrible or whatever, but there are hundreds of pictures of your stupid ass kissing Ray Yamada. I leave you alone for one night, and this is what you do. Please explain yourself because now I have to spend all morning calling gossip magazines to see if I can mitigate this damage." "Sorry." "Sorry? Okay, the least you could do is lie and say it wasn't you. Ray Yamada. Jesus. I knew you were going to go off script a little, but I expected a night of drinking and dancing, not losing your virginity to one of the biggest playboys known to man. We're going to have to entirely rebrand you. Half of your social media presence is about being a virgin, and now." "Oh my God," Josiah groaned. "Don't oh my God me. This is you and your little rebound moment. You are making so much more work for me. Do you know this? I want you to know this." "Ingrid," Josiah responded in a firm but almost playful tone, "I did not have sex with that man." "Haha, okay, you think you're so cute and clever. Mr. Funny Guy over here." "It was kind of funny," Josiah mumbled. "Anyway." "Yeah, anyway. No more one-night stands. Please God, tell me you're not at his place right now. I'm not at his place right now. Are you telling me what I want to hear? No. I'm seriously not at his place. Ingrid sighed. Well, I suppose there is one good thing about this entire situation. At least you're not. Ray emerged from the bedroom with Josiah's laptop tucked under his arm, still only clad in his briefs, and approached the cart of food. The bun he had put in his hair earlier had sunk to the base of his neck, and his raven locks fought the hair tie, slipping out tendril by tendril, until there was barely anything left. I thought you didn't want the fish and rice. Josiah looked up from his conversation, fixing wide eyes on Ray. Oh, Josiah, you better tell me you're talking to the doorman, so help me God, Ingrid yelled through the receiver. Well, if you don't want me to lie to you, Josiah picked at his plate of food. I can't right now. I'm going to call you back in a little while. There's no fucking way you're quarantining with him. No way. Ingrid hung up without a goodbye, and Josiah placed his cell phone on the table before dropping his hands into his lap and tucking the folds of his robe between his thighs, hiding the swell of his arousal. Some pieces of the previous night came back to him as Ray ate his breakfast in front of him. He remembered the taste of Ray's skin and how the buds of his brown nipples felt against his lips. Josiah's cock grew more and he cleared his throat, scrubbing his cheek. I changed my mind. When everything got here, the rice and fish looked the best. Besides my sweet, my money, my food. I'll eat what I want. Ray chuckled and nibbled a piece of bacon. Noted. By the way, you're going to have to find somewhere else to stay locked up for however long. I have a trip to Bali, and my flight is supposed to leave Saturday morning. Sure, but I mean, the chances of you getting out of this country are slim to none. Josiah's eyelids fluttered, and he lifted dark eyebrows into his forehead. Excuse me? All incoming and outgoing international flights have been cancelled. You think you're special now? This trip to Bali has been planned for months. And you're going to have to make other plans, sweetheart. Yeah, don't call me sweetheart. Josiah went back to his food, grinding his teeth against each other as he thought about his options. To be transparent, they were slim. Very slim, in fact. If what Ray was saying was true, he really may be stuck in the States making other provisions for his clients. Okay then. Besides the Bali thing, is everything else okay? No, Josiah scoffed. There are pictures of you and me everywhere, and everyone thinks I've lost my virginity to you, so no. Things are most definitely not okay. Damn. Are the pictures good quality, though? What kind of question is, are the pictures good quality? Well, I want to know how I look in them. Pull some up so I can see. No, Josiah scowled. No. Oh, come on. I bet they look good. I definitely bet they don't. You look like a boy band reject, and I was drunk. Yeah, okay, I might look like a boy band reject, but I wasn't all over myself last night. Just saying. Ray grinned, and then wiggled his fingers towards Josiah's cell phone. Show me some pictures. Good Lord, fine. Josiah unlocked his cell phone and browsed social media tags featuring his name until he came to one of the photos from the previous night. It was badly cropped and very dim, but it showed Josiah clearly pulling Ray into a kiss. He looked bold and confident, two things he normally wasn't, and Ray looked shy and giddy. Last night had been opposite day, apparently. Josiah swallowed around a little knot in his throat and showed Ray the photo, dangling his cell phone in his hand. Ray squinted at it. Damn, I look good. Oh yeah, and you're not too bad either. Josiah rolled his eyes, smacking his lips together before pushing himself up from the table. Panic had replaced his hangover. I have to make calls. I have a huge shipment of clothes coming, and the brand expects me to be taking photos of everything with Bali vibes. Sure. I'm going to eat your breakfast since you basically ate mine. Ray made himself a plate of food and then sat down, opening Josiah's laptop again as Josiah stalked out of the breakfast nook and disappeared into the bedroom. He paced the length of the room, swiping through a flurry of incoming emails, brands anxious about their agreements with him, but also asking him if he was safe. There were a few brands who pulled out of their deals, concerned with money due to the quarantine, but most simply wanted to hear from Josiah, so he called them. After a dozen calls, Ray's theories had been proven true. There was no way on God's green earth he was getting to Bali. After a dozen more calls, he had rerouted all of the products to his Vegas suite and adjusted the promotional plans. Some regrettably were pushed back, but most were simply edited for the times. When he was finished, he tossed his cell phone on the bed and hopped in the shower, rinsing off the shame from the previous night, along with the scent of alcohol clinging to his skin and short-cut hair. He stood in the rainwater shower until the pads of his fingers wrinkled, until every little worry in his mind had floated away. Then he climbed out, wrapping his fluffy bathrobe around himself again, and padding barefoot through the suite, finding Ray still in the kitchen. Ray's gaze honed in on Josiah when he re-entered the room, and for a moment he was speechless. Then he coughed and went back to his cell phone conversation. "Dad, I gotta go." "Yes, I'll figure out something." Okay. Bye." "Is everything okay?" Josiah tiptoed back over to the food cart, nibbling at what was left. "Yeah, but I need to ask you something."